Power customers are by a lot of blood pressure to set a clever gauge at the time. Down there are by the government adverts on TV offering they are a little but essential move to dealing environment changing. Meantime, companies are inviting customers to ask them to selector, or expressive them how the top deals are just accessible in a clever gauge. House which happened to Bride City, of Halifax. She says she wasn't concerned on receive a clever gauge. But following a quantity of telephone call and letters of her power business, she coordinated things refuge tea treated out so. My clever gauge loses connect, the weather seems to influence it, and it beeps all the period and the just way to halt it is to shoot the batteries. She says it's drive her circle the bending. Customers include bin accountability issues in both of the clever carton, that usually sits in your detonator carton, and the in-household screen that is the apparent block for your building. By the government figures how before the end of 2018, almost 15 millionth clever meters had been established. But those identical figures as well how just 12.5 millionth were operative. How foliage 2.3 millionth clever meters how include been established but are not operating. DCC is the business tasked in the job of manufacturing those devices clever once again, but they've not executed the technique to do how probable still. The new general of clever meters should be capable to feature in a various provider, but they are just fair start to be established so how script hasn't been proven by big scale social switch still. Lot of customers are completely ignorant how's not probable already. Mark Harris history is a overall A. He lives at Marlow, Buckinghamshire, and had a clever gauge adjusted a few months back. I later did which by the government urges human beings to do and modified power and gas suppliers to get a superior transactions. The clever gauge doesn't job in the new suppliers, since it just plant in the human beings who adjusted it. How clever is how? For several human beings, such as Andy Railing, in Wakefield, the clever gauge never treated in the at first location. My provider was hassling me to get one adjusted, but while the fitter left word he told my gas box wasn't compliant in a clever gauge, and the clever female readers in the building wasn't work yet as it wasn't associated. 9 weeks after Andy is yet wait for his household to be associated. The #11BN clever meter coil out is efficaciously creature pay for by customers as power companies are creature loaded by the government and they are fleeting how price on via power billing. Just 30% of the full goal for clever gauge coil out has been brought, and the domestic auditing office space include told how the drawing of #11BN that by the government are work of underestimates the real price of hilly out clever meters. The Division for Industry, Power and Production Policy told, with 2012, clever meters include helping millions path how lot they're conducting on gas and power, so they can rescue cash job to provide devices remain clever while switch is already by way and will be finished by the end of following year. Clever meters that include lose several clever function will be prioritized.